We've been telling you, you've been listening to us for a while, haven't you? We can tell because you're up to speed. We can feel you coming right along with us. So we're going to make this introduction brief before we turn it over to the madness of your world. So, as you're exploring the variety that surrounds you and you're launching these rockets, there is this expansion that is taking place within you. And the question that we want to ask all day, every day is, are you keeping up with your own expansion? And the answer is yes if you feel wonderful, not so much if you are not feeling wonderful. You can tell by the way you feel. The way you feel is an indicator of one thing and one thing only. It's an indicator of you keeping up with your own expansion. It's an indicator of whether you are in this moment perceiving whatever it is that you are giving your attention to in the same way that the source within you is perceiving it. So when you care about how you feel, you're coming into perfect alignment with who you really are. And nothing short of that will be enough for you. So if you've been listening to us for a while, you've been hearing us talking about law of attraction, and you've been hearing us talking about launching these rockets, and we've been telling you that you've been sending out a vibrational version of what you want, and that the source within you is standing in this vibrational reality. We've given it the name the vortex. In fact, we wrote an entire book about the vortex because we wanted to get your attention upon this vibrational reality that you have created that really is who you are, this vibrational version of you to which you want to achieve vibrational alignment. We so want you to know about that vibrational reality because we also want you to know that anything short of being a vibrational match to that vibrational reality, where source stands, where you have evolved to, anything short of that is a diminishment of your moment and doesn't have to be. You get to have all that you've asked for. You just have to figure out how to vibrationally do that. So then we began explaining to you that while there is this vibrational version of you, of all that you want, that when and only when you find vibrational alignment with that vibrational version. For example, if you've been asking for more money and you feel shortage today, maybe even afraid because a big bill came and you can't pay it, that feeling in your gut that you would describe as fear or uneasiness or disappointment, that feeling is your indicator that you're not up to speed with the money that's in your vibrational reality. The money that's in your vortex still stands there ready to be realized by you. But the fear in your belly is your indicator that you're not up to speed with it, and so it can't cross into your experience. It can't become realized by you. Now, creation is just about that. We want you to understand that all creation is about vibrational alignment. So now we want to say to you that every thought that you offer, whether it's something wanted or not wanted, creates a vibrational version of it that in the beginning does not have enough momentum to actualize into your experience. You've launched a lot of rockets of wanted and unwanted, and some of them have more momentum than others. But how they show up in your experience, how often they come, how steadily they're there, and how they feel when they get there is all about the momentum, which is all about the air time. It's all about the think time. It's all about the talk time. It's all about the attention time. Biggest word, it's all about the focus that you have been giving to them, you see. So that's why we now want to talk to you about your point of attraction, because you have laid the pathways to all kinds of things, wanted and unwanted. The question is, which of those pipelines is wide open and delivering a lot of payload to you, and which of those pipelines is closed and not giving you anything? So we began talking about this point of attraction, reaching for different things to call it. For a while we called it the grid. No one really liked that word, the grid. But the grid is sort of a framework that will be filled in later with the details that you will call real life reality. It's sort of like the frame of the house before you put the roof on, before you put the walls up, before you put the pretty stuff in it. So you're standing in your point of attraction all the time. Now we've evolved this analogy to say to you that this grid is spinning because your point of attraction is gathering cooperative components, meaning gathering the components that equal who you are, and that there is a vibrational spinning grid that you could liken to the emotions on your emotional scale. In other words, there's that high-flying grid that feels like love and passion, eagerness. And there's that low-flying grid that feels like despair, grief, fear. And then there's the overwhelming grid. It occurred to Esther the other day that it's like the seven dwarfs. There's happy and grumpy, dysfunctional, passive aggressive. We're up to about 200 dwarfs now. But you know which grid you are. You know where you are. If ornery people seem to be everywhere you go, you just kind of got to admit that you're on the ornery disc. And you're having the ornery meeting with those others who have gathered there. So we're going to be talking here today about what you've got going on. You've got some habits of thought that aren't serving you. You've got some habits of thought that are serving you. You've got some dormant beliefs that don't affect you very often, but every now and again, one of them is activated by something you see or something that you hear, and then it begins to affect you for a little while. And we really want to call your attention to this really important thing, and that is your point of attraction is now. It's right now. It doesn't matter what happened yesterday. It only matters what you're doing vibrationally now. And you can get so that what happened yesterday doesn't affect what you're offering vibrationally now, but you've got to understand that you are a vibrational being emanating a signal, and you've got to understand that your thoughts are the reason for that signal, what you focus upon, and you got to understand that the way you feel is an indication of how that blends with who you really are and what you really want. But most of all, we want you to leave this gathering knowing for sure that you can manage to have control over what disc you are on.